Hey guys, this is Aman Mittal welcoming you all to Daily News Nuts, an initiative of Prep Nuts. Today the date is 10th of June 2020 and we shall be seeing here all the important articles that an aspirant must go through from the exam's perspective. आज near about हमारे पास 6 articles है from the Hindu and 1 article is there from Indian Express. So in total we shall be seeing near about 7 articles today. Coming on to the front page of the Hindu, the first news out here is India-China agree to ease standoff. So this is a good news with respect to the ongoing India-China border tensions and finally the results of the high-level political engagements along with the military level engagements have yielded results. So both the Indian and Chinese troops have agreed for the partial disengagements from some of the standoff points, mainly from the Galwan Valley, and the standoff is still there at the Pangong Tso. So Pangong Tso has seen no development so far. Talks are still on complete disengagement of the Indian and Chinese troops along the LAC. So we have been seeing this issue for about a month now, and we already have covered this in detail on our Cragnets initiative. This was a short update with respect to the India-China ongoing disputes. Now coming on to the second article on the front page, migrants should not be prosecuted, says Supreme Court. तो सुप्रीम कोर्ट के जो भी जजमेंट्स अभी आ रहे हैं विद रिस्पेक्ट टू द लॉकडाउन and with respect to the migrants and laborers, they are important because Supreme Court का continuous criticism हुआ है throughout the lockdown phase that it has not intervened and has been a mute spectator of the violation of the fundamental rights, especially that of migrants. Supreme Court ने intervene करना start किया after these criticisms, and all the judgments of the Supreme Court become relevant and significant because they help you to answer the role played by the judiciary during the lockdown. तो इसके पहले सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने इंटरवीन किया था और ये कहा था सेंटर और स्टेट्स को कि वो माइग्रेंट्स को फ्री ऑफ कॉस्ट फूड शेल्टर एंड ट्रैवल प्रोवाइड करवाएं, एंड नाउ द सुप्रीम कोर्ट हैज कम आउट एंड हैज सेड that no migrant should be prosecuted for trying to reach home amid the national lockdown. तो जो भी migrants को बुक किया गया था under the Disaster Management Act of 2005 under its section 51 will now not be prosecuted as per the directions given by the Supreme Court out here. And it has also directed the Indian Railways to run more Shramik special trains to transport all the stranded migrant workers back to their home. It has also directed the central government and the state government to do so within the next 15 days. So you just have to keep in mind the role that the Supreme Court has played during the lockdown, especially with respect to the migrants, in order to protect their fundamental rights. Now let us move on to our next article. BEML's internal data staff email IDs had leaked on dark web. This is again a major leak on the dark web after the Aadhaar data leak and the recent job seekers data leak. इसके पहले स्टूडेंट्स की डिटेल भी लीक हुई थी ऑन द डार्क वेब, एंड नाउ द डेटा ऑफ द भारत अर्थ मूवर्स लिमिटेड, दैट इज द BML, which is headquartered in the Bengaluru, has been leaked on the dark web. Dark web is a deep web which has an overlay network and is highly encrypted. Also, dark web is not indexed with the conventional browsers or search engines like Chrome or Google. It has to be accessed using special softwares, that is Tor. So like we access our normal internet through Chrome or Mozilla, if one has to access dark web, then he or she has to use Tor. Also, there is change in the domain. .onion is used to access websites on the dark web. Some of the benefits of dark web out here are that dark web does not censor any information put on it by any user. It respects the anonymity and is highly useful for the generalist and the whistleblowers. But there is a dark side of the dark web as well, जहाँ पे इन तीन चीजों का मिसयूज करते हुए illegal activities रन हो रही हैं, like black marketing, smuggling, terror financing एंड चाइल्ड पॉन्स. डार्क वेब के बारे में आपको ये बेसिक इंफॉर्मेशन पता होनी बहुत ज्यादा जरूरी है बिकॉज इट इज एन इमर्जिंग ग्लोबल साइबर सिक्योरिटी थ्रेट, especially to India, where the cyber security framework is still in its nascent stage, and also the vulnerability of India is clearly expressed through recent leaks on the dark web of crucial data like that of BEML, which is a public sector undertaking, or the PSU, वर्किंग इन द डिफेंस इंडस्ट्री. तो डार्क वेब के प्रॉस एंड कॉन्स का आइडिया आपको होना चाहिए, and also you should be able to link it with the India cyber security framework. And as a best practice, you should hear mention about the Cyber Dome project that is of the Kerala to boost its cyber security. Now let us move on to our next article. After blowout oil well on fire, ऑयल इंडिया लिमिटेड का एक नेचुरल गैस वेल था इन दी तिनसुकिया डिस्ट्रिक्ट ऑफ द असम जो 2 हफ्ते पहले ब्लो आउट हो चुका था. ब्लो आउट इज एन अनकंट्रोल्ड रिलीज ऑफ ऑयल और गैस from a production well which can be caused due to human error or due to the machinery failure. तो यहाँ पे जो ब्लो आउट हुआ है उसके पीछे रीजन मशीनरी फेलियर है. बट दिस इंफॉर्मेशन इज नॉट सो रिलेवेंट फॉर अस एंड दिस आर्टिकल हैज बीन सिलेक्टेड फॉर यू only because of the mention of Dibru-Saikhowa National Park, which is near this oil well. Dibru-Saikhowa National Park is one of the 19 biodiversity hotspots of the world. It is both a national park as well as a biosphere reserve. It has a tropical monsoon climate and the vegetation found out here are mostly evergreen and the deciduous forest. This national park has also been identified by the Bombay Natural Heritage Society as the Important Birds Area or the IBA. Two important rivers pass through this national park, one being Brahmaputra and the second is Lohit River. Dibru-Saikhowa National Park में दो species आपको याद रखनी important है. First is white winged wood duck and the second is feral horses. तो इन दोनों स्पीशीज के कंजर्वेशन के लिए नेशनल पार्क एस्टैब्लिश किया गया था. तो ये कुछ बेसिक इंफॉर्मेशन है अबाउट द डिब्रू साइकोवा नेशनल पार्क जो प्रीलिम्स पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से इंपॉर्टेंट है. नाउ लेट अस मूव ऑन टू आवर नेक्स्ट आर्टिकल. Can coffee growers deploy MG नरेगा वर्कर्स? अर्नस्ट एंड यंग एक प्रोफेशनल सर्विसेज फर्म है जिसने ये रिकमेंडेशन दी है that MG Narega workers should be deployed at the coffee plantations to overcome the problems of labor shortages and high production cost. तो MG Narega से related हमने काफी सारे reforms की बात करी है and among all those reforms one was the wage subsidy scheme, that is to link the MG Narega with the local level enterprises so that the expansion of MG Narega's ambit to include the skilled workers or to skill the existing workers can be done, and it will also help the local level enterprises because they will get the skilled labor, wages of which would be shared between government and the enterprises where they are employed. तो यहाँ पे जो E and Y ने रिकमेंडेशन दी है that is on the lines of the wage subsidy scheme that has been recommended by many other experts as well. इस आर्टिकल को आप एज एन एग्जांपल यूज कर सकते हैं to make your point on wage subsidy scheme more effective and substantiated. Now let us move on to our next article. Top IITs and IISc slip in global rankings. QS World University rankings release हुई हैं. And there is a bad news with respect to the Indian higher educational institutions that the top 5 Indian institutes of technology and the Indian institutes of science, all of them have dropped this year in the QS World University rankings. And the dropout here has been majorly because of the one parameter, that is the parameter of internationalization. Indian institutes को 0 score मिला है on the ratio of international faculty and the students, and Indian institutes have performed quite well on the research impact. बाकी ग्रे एरियाज जो इंडियन हायर एजुकेशन के हाईलाइट हुए हैं when they were compared with the other world class institutions, that are poor faculty student ratio and the perception of the premier Indian institutes abroad. तो perception के regarding ये recommendation है कि इंडिया को incredible India kind of campaign run करनी चाहिए throughout the world so as to attract the students towards Indian higher educational institutions which are declared institutes of eminence by the central government, and also QS World University rankings must be nudged by the India to include the cost of education, because अगर cost of education एक parameter QS World University rankings include करता है तो Indian higher educational institutions world के top 50 में भी आ सकते हैं. तो इस आर्टिकल से ये कुछ points important है. एक और important यहाँ पे स्कीम है that is the Institutes of Eminence scheme, जिसके बारे में essential information आपको पता होनी चाहिए both from the prelims and the mains perspective. The Institutes of the Eminence scheme was launched in the Union Budget of 2016, जिसके through central government 10 public institutes and 10 private institutes select करेगा to declare them as an institutes of eminence. The objective of this scheme is enhance the affordable higher quality of education in India, which have high quality teaching and world class higher education infrastructure. And the benefits that the institutes will get: additional funding of up to 1000 crore rupees. Selected institutes would get complete academic and administrative autonomy. They will get financial autonomy to spend the amount allocated to them. Also, they will be free for academic collaborations and the freedom for the recruitment of foreign faculty up to 25% of their total faculties. These institutions would not be inspected by the UGCs, and they can have their own transparent merit based system for the student admission. So again, this is an important article from the prelims perspective, and also you can use points from here to speak or write about the higher education reforms and problems in India. Now let us see our last article from the Indian Express. Why India's forex reserves are rising and why they matter in a crisis. तो इंडिया के फॉरेक्स एक्सचेंज रिजर्व्स जो हैं वो कंटिन्यूस राइज हो रहे हैं आफ्टर द डाउनफॉल दैट वाज विटनेस्ड इन द मार्च एंड इन द इनिशियल डेज ऑफ द अप्रैल मंथ, एंड नाउ द फॉरेन एक्सचेंज रिजर्व्स आर अबाउट टू हिट द $500 billion mark, which would be the highest accumulation of the forex in India so far. 1991 में फॉरेक्स रिजर्व्स इंडिया के $5.8 billion थे, एंड सिंस देन इट हैज ग्रोन बाय 8400%. So let us quickly know about the basics of the forex reserves now. Forex reserves basically external assets होते हैं which include gold, SDR or the special drawing rights of the IMF, that is the International Monetary Fund, and the foreign currency assets. So these three are the major constituents of the forex reserves, जिसमें foreign currency assets के अंदर further inclusions हैं of the foreign direct investment, ECBs or the external commercial borrowings, and all the capital inflows to the capital markets of India. So forex reserves in India are accumulated by the government and they are controlled by the Reserve Bank of India. Major objective forex reserves को accumulate और hold करने के पीछे जो है, that is the monetary and exchange rate management to limit the external vulnerability of India, maintain the foreign currency liquidity, and absorb economic shocks. Major reason behind the rise in the forex reserves now after the lockdown have been high inflows of the FPIs and the FDIs, जो again FCA का part form करते हैं, fall in the crude oil prices and significant reduction in the foreign travels. तो ये कुछ major reasons हैं जिसके कारण forex reserves इंडिया में increase हो रहे हैं. Now what is the significance of this rise in the forex reserves? So significance out here is almost the same that of the objectives of the forex reserves, that is it provides a big cushion in the event of economic crisis. तो monetary और exchange rate management के through forex reserves को utilize किया जा सकता है to prevent a big economic crisis like that of 1991, and also it can be utilized by the government of India to fight national disasters or emergency kind of situations that we are facing at present. So high forex reserves provide a level of confidence to the markets that a country can meet all its external obligations and assist government in meeting its foreign exchange needs. So I believe that all these points are self-explanatory in nature and are very easy to understand. ये सारे पॉइंट्स आपको प्रीलिम्स और मेंस दोनों एग्जामिनेशन में हेल्प करेंगे वंस यू डेवलप कॉन्सेप्चुअल क्लैरिटी विद रिस्पेक्ट टू द फॉरेक्स रिजर्व्स ऑफ इंडिया, कि फॉरेक्स रिजर्व्स राइज कैसे होते हैं, कि उसका इम्पैक्ट क्या होता है बोथ ऑन द इन्वेस्टमेंट्स इन इंडिया, ऑन द इंडियन करेंसी एंड ऑल्सो ऑन द ओवरऑल ट्रेड. तो अगर हम इंडियन करेंसी की यहाँ पे बात करें तो अगर फॉरेक्स रिजर्व्स इंडिया के पास काफी ज्यादा है तो रुपी को स्ट्रेंथन और वीकन करना आरबीआई के लिए काफी इजी हो जाता है. फॉर एग्जांपल एज ऑफ नाउ आरबीआई इज परचेजिंग डॉलर्स सो एज टू वीकन द रुपी विच हैज गॉट स्ट्रेंथन अगेंस्ट द डॉलर. तो अगर रुपी को स्ट्रेंथन करना है तो डॉलर्स को सेल आउट करना पड़ता है विच इज डन बाय द आरबीआई, और अगर रुपी को वीकन करना है तो डॉलर्स को परचेज किया जाता है ताकि डॉलर की डिमांड बढ़ जाए. तो ये कुछ बेसिक सी चीजें हैं जो प्रीलिम्स में आपको कंफ्यूज कर सकती हैं, इसीलिए यहाँ पे कॉन्सेप्चुअल क्लैरिटी बिल्ड होना बहुत ज्यादा जरूरी है. So you should give this article a careful reading. This article being the last article of the day, guys, we shall wrap up the daily news nuts of the day. Please post your doubts, queries, suggestions in the comment section below. Keep learning, guys. Thank you.